So in this video, we're going to create the Azure Function, which is going to act as our event producer. I've already pre-created a Function app resource, but just to quickly show you, there's not much to it. So if you search for it in the marketplace, click on Function app. Give it a name, so function, Bitcoin. Otherwise, everything else is kind of as every other resource. You got your location, your resource group, and all others can be set to default. And leaving it in my instance, I've left it to create its own little storage as opposed to reusing any existing storage. So we'll just discard that because I've already pre-created one, so we don't have to wait for the deployment. If you open up the function, okay, so here we're in the function app. We'll create a new function. The function that we want to create is a timer-based function, so it's going to be collecting Bitcoin price data on a regular interval. So I'll paste the code. Before I explain the code, we'll set up our integrators, and then some of the parameters within the code will make a bit more sense. So if you click on integrate, you can see we have triggers for the function inputs and outputs. The trigger is time-based. We want this function to run every 5 seconds. At the moment, it's set to run every 5 minutes. So we'll make it run every 10 seconds. So we'll go. You can check this using like a cron expression validator website. So you can see every 10 seconds. Okay, now, so that's our trigger. So our trigger now is updated to run every 10 seconds. In terms of the output, we want to point it to an event hub. Because the integration is first class, it's quite seamless. So if you click on Event Hub Connection New, it will auto recognize within our subscription that we have an event hub called EH namespace with an EH Bitcoin actual hub, and it's just going to use the root policy. So there's our connection. Event hub name is EH Bitcoin. And this is the parameter name that's important because that's what will bind within the code to actually send events from the function to the event hub. So we'll click save. If we go back to our code, okay, I'll just run that just to make sure it's all compiling. So yep, event sent to as well. So I'll quickly walk through the code. The only thing that we need to use is the HTTP system class. We initialize a HTTP client. This is based off a timer, so the only other parameter that we need to be concerned about is this iasync collector that has the same parameter name as what we had in our integration called output event hub message. So anything that we bind to that variable will end up being sent to the event hub every time this function runs. Within the actual method itself, we initialize our Bitcoin API URL. The HTTP client makes an asynchronous request. We get our response back as a string, and we wait until that response has been added to our output event hub message collector. Once that's done, we just log to the console that we've added an event to the event hub. So you can see here that at the bottom that the logs are updating every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds. It's sending something to the event hub. So that's it for the Azure function. In the next video, we'll be looking at the stream analytics job. So we've got Azure function, it's polling the API, it's sending events to the event hub, and now we want the stream analytics job to look at the event hub as an input, consume the events, and send the output to Power BI.